Why Not Us podcast. It is your host, Sen, and your other host, Ramir. And today, we're back with another video. Thank you for joining us. And
Exactly. All of that, yeah.
Thank you for joining us once again. We appreciate the constant love that you're giving us, the support, and we just want to express the utmost gratitude. We're definitely very thankful and grateful that this is being received by a lot of people, and thank you.
I just think a lot of people look forward to these episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Like what if we oh, when's the next one? What y'all talking about next?
Right.
I feel like a lot of people are just tuned in. It's just way beyond what we can even thought and imagine. So I'm just super grateful.
Absolutely.
So we're glad we're here. You know what I'm saying? We're kind of getting close to that end a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Getting close to that 20th episode. But, I'm just so glad you guys have been here rocking with us through the journey. So I really appreciate it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, so if you are ready with us, continue to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribing and drop a comment below if you're really interested in this conversation and you want to keep it going. So let's start with check-ins. Highs and lows. What have been some of your highs and lows this week?
Okay, so my high and low, I will say my high has been, I think I mentioned a few episodes in the past that I've been in some editing debt.
Okay.
There's a lot of projects I was supposed to touch and just edit and send along.
Mm-hmm.
We've been working on that,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been getting the process going along and doing that. So that's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? My high is that I'm progressing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
We getting past some things. A lot of projects I've got the chance to edit and get to do.
Mm-hmm.
So working towards that. I think in the past that was my low. It's a high now because I'm doing it. I'm in it. I'm progressing. You know what I'm saying?
So
I think my low is that I don't know. I've been feeling there's been plenty of you ever feel as a creator, you ever feel it's just you have an idea to do something and you talk yourself out of doing it?
Yeah.
I think that's where I've been. I've been kind of talking myself out of doing things for some reason, which is crazy because we come on here and talk to y'all just just do it, just post it, just do it. So simple. It's really not simple. We be talking to ourselves half the time, respectfully.
It's only human.
Yeah.
Human nature.
So my low is that I felt like I found myself talking myself out of doing certain projects or certain skits or certain just things, and I want to get out of that. I just want to get back to just not, being like a toddler. Toddlers don't really care. They don't really think about certain things. That's what I want.
Okay, I can see that. So some of my highs, or my high for this week, would definitely be, I'm going to start with the low for me this time. A low of mine would definitely, and it coincides with my high. I've been seeing a lot of I feel like discourse, or maybe people are just very closed-minded, and it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of been not coming on to me, but I've been wanting to maybe talk about it. Or I don't really know why people are always so closed-minded or have this one tunnel vision way of looking at things. And it kind of, as a creative, it kind of makes me ponder, or I don't even know if the right word is upset, but it makes me feel like, the world is so big. Why be so closed-minded to things or genres or new concepts? I feel like as of late, people have been really closed-minded to different concepts, and it's going to coincide with my high in a second, but I've been really seeing a lot of discourse around a lot of things, or people are not wanting to give praise where praise is due, or everything is always so overhyped, or it's why can't I give somebody their flowers, or why can't I get excited about something? I think in that effort, people are closed-minded to celebrating really Black joy. Joy period, but Black joy. We can't feel excited or feel too we're doing too much, or you're overhyping something, whether that's a person, whether that's a series, a movie, whomever it would be, or whatever it could be.
You said overhyping, so people be like, oh, you glazing it.
Yeah, well, I don't even like that phrase, but people just do that, and I can be like, oh my gosh, I love that person. They're like, oh, she not that. You're doing too much. I'm like,
glazing.
And it makes me feel like, well, dang, I can't appreciate people's work.
Nah,
I want people to appreciate my work or our work or what we do. And I can just imagine somebody like, oh, you're overhyping them. And it's that's diminishing
Like, who are you to tell me that I'm overhyping something?
Right.
We
So-
value things differently.
Yeah, so that's just been my low, just closed-minded in that realm. But a high would be having to go see the movie Sinners, and director of Ryan Coogler, shout out to him. And that movie was a phenomenon. It already had built
Yeah.
so much, even looking at the trailer and the phenomenon it built around the film and everything of that sort. He really put their blood, sweat, and tears in that film. And it's so much bigger than we think. You know, a lot of people have been categorizing it as a vampire movie or as a scary movie or as a whatever movie. And it's so much bigger than you think. And I'm not going to spoil it. If people out there at this point should have seen it. But if you didn't, no spoilers here. But just know that it was just an experience for me. So that was my high. I went to the movies with my mom, and you know, it was really cute. We got like these little cute slushy like drinks, and we watched the movie, and for 2 and some change hours got our entire life. So that has been my high. I want to see it over and over and over again at this point.
Yeah,
so,
at this point, it's like
yeah,
it was a good film. Like, moreover to what you said, like going off the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what to expect from the trailer.
Right.
Me personally, I'm not a big like vampire werewolfy person.
Okay.
I'm not. I'm really not.
No Twilight.
Nah,
Okay.
I'm really not. That's just I like my suspense to be a little bit more grounded.
Okay.
So like, I really probably only seen it because Ryan directed it.
Mm-hmm.
Not my first name basis like I know him, but like, cause Ryan, I was about to say, cause Cool directed it. That's Laser. See.
I never said anything.
All right, but like, yeah, I only seen it because it came from him, right?
Yeah.
Just to see.
Because it's past work.
Yeah. Just because of past work, you know, you got Black Panther, you got Fruitvale Station,
Creed.
you got all the Creeds, like, you know what I'm saying? This is somebody I probably like look up to like directorially, right?
Absolutely.
So it's just like, and the thing that really moved me to go see is when he put out that video explaining the different formats.
Yes.
You know, IMAX and the lenses and the way it's shot on, and just like explaining that really, really well.
Yep.
So I did not know what to expect, but when I tell you, like, people really are like, oh yeah, 10 out of 10. They're not lying. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm not lying. Like, it was a really good film.
Yeah.
I feel like you should see it and, like, you know, pick up whatever you want to pick up out of it. Like, yes, at the base value of it, it's a horror vampire flick, right? But like,
that's not
the
all
cast carry, right?
Yes.
The environment and the storytelling,
Mm-hmm.
the villains. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just feel like they just did their thing. Ryan Coogler can make really good villains. Now I'm thinking about it, like a lot of them, like a lot of the antagonists.
Yep.
In a lot of the films.
Yeah, that's true. That's really true.
He makes great villains. Yeah. But it was a great film for sure.
Go see it. It's more than a vampire movie. It's definitely enriched in culture and just a lot. I don't want to spoil it once again, but go see it. And it actually also is a high of mine because we did a topic about originality and looking for something new, and here Ryan comes. Well, has put this movie in the works, but here he comes with this amazing original,
and it's doing numbers.
It's doing amazing, and you know what? They critiqued it. The people critiquing their writing, blogs and stuff, they said that it wouldn't even reach a certain dollar amount at the box office. They didn't. They undermined the movie and the potential, and they were like, "Oh, he's not going to reach that by Sunday," and he did. Mm-hmm. And that just goes to tell you the talent that we were talking about, what we were looking for. And Ryan Coogler is definitely one of those people. But yeah, go see it. Check it out. So now that we covered that basis, we're going to move on over to the icon and the eye. And that is, if you're unfamiliar with that is just something where we take a moment of our time to highlight a person or a movie or, whatever genre of creative field, and we highlight that person and we give them their kudos, we give them their flowers. So who is your icon and the eye?
All right, so my icon and the eye for this episode is a content creator, streamer. She goes by the name of Christology. So, I think that, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just think that it's just, I feel like in a space that's typically male dominated, she doesn't get her credit. But then when you talk about like great, like women streamers, she also doesn't kind of get her credit. Mm-hmm. She's somebody that inspires me because she has rebranded herself many times, like
Mhm.
years. She's been doing YouTube for a long time, for
Mhm.
years, rebranded herself many times. So that definitely just reminds me and helps me, like, I can rebrand myself many times. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, you never know what works. You know what doesn't know what sticks until it sticks. But no, she's a great streamer. Just very, very, cool with her community. And she definitely recently did like a playthrough of a game. Speaking of Sinners, it's kind of like on that same wavelength. It was a game called South of Midnight.
Okay.
And it's kind of like claymation style, but it's
nice.
very black and very you know what I'm saying, super cool. You would like it.
I think I've seen it before.
Yeah.
The trailer, yeah.
So, but she did a playthrough of that, and it was just a good time. So I just want to shout out to her. Just like the content that she's making and everything she does is super fire. So
yeah, she's super cool. I've checked some of her streams out. She's super dope and super relatable, and the rebranding for sure.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Who's your icon of the eye?
My icon of the eye for this week is going to be Gail Bean.
Okay.
She is an actress, and she's been acting for quite a long time. Many of you know her from Snowfall, from P-Valley, and her latest movie she has out was called Both Eyes Open, and I believe that's on Stars. But I tell you, she has easily become one of my favorite actresses, because you can tell every role she plays, everything that she puts her heart into, it's authentic, and she is living her character. She's breathing her character. You know, many times people they get into character and you feel like, oh, they're not really into the character. She's in it.
She's in it. Like,
when
really
I seen her the first time on Snowfall, I was
not Wanda.
Yeah. And that is something that is hard, playing different roles and embodying. I feel like real life situations is super difficult to do. So as an actress, that is the most amazing thing you can do, is tell the story through you, through your body, through your voice, through your language, through everything. And she just does that really well of her caliber. And shout out to her just for always looking to grow. Because I seen her from Snowfall, and then one of my other favorite shows is P-Valley, and I was like, wait. And they brought her later on in the cast, and I was like, oh my gosh, look at her. And of course, she played a different role in that, and she definitely embodied somebody of that caliber of a character. So shout out to Gail, Bean, for continuously raising the bar and setting these incredible standards. And it's not an easy job. So definitely my hat goes off to you, and I'm super anxious and excited for what you are, the next project you're ready to embark on.
I just think that when you think about she said she's been acting for a long time.
Yeah.
But
she was Insecure.
She was Insecure.
Yes, you gotta go back and watch. Yes.
So you might see her in different phases, different places.
Yes.
So her that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough, and just be able to perform these diverse characters is very difficult. But I feel like she probably pulls it off well.
Does. Yeah.
I've seen Wanda, and I'm like, all right,
yes,
she can do other stuff. It's hard.
Yeah. So
that's tough.
Shout out to you. You're amazing. So now we're about to get into the meat and potatoes of the show, and it's going to be our main topic. So today's main topic is basically, do artists ever, fully feel satisfied? The whole idea of never-ending, perfection, and what that looks like, and what does that mean, and what is your pinnacle, and what is your desired of this is it, or the cycle of never-ending, of reaching a certain point. So what do you think about, as far as artists and never... the satisfaction of never, feeling like
truly
you
satisfied.
You're satisfied in something. How do you think that's a good or bad thing, and not feeling truly satisfied?
I'm leaning towards it's a good ideology, only because, satisfaction brings complacency. Complacency makes you lazy, and complacency makes you settle. And it's just, it's a slippery slope. So I'm leaning towards it's good to not feel satisfied. I think as someone, I will go back and watch different films I was part of, or different projects I've done, or whatever, and watch it and analyze it and see what I could be doing better next time. So even though it may be good, everyone's like, oh my God, you did a great job. Here's your flowers. Here's that and the third, the applause, all that good stuff. I'm not taking that and be like, I did it. No, I'm not going to do that, because it's just I don't know. It's about longevity. It's about a continuation. That wasn't the goal. I want to do this and keep doing it. I feel like being able to repeat and, you know what I'm saying, add on to what you got going on, you gotta have some sense of not being satisfied.
Yeah, I agree with that. But, I also feel like, should you never feel fully satisfied? Like, I think that can be a little unhealthy. It coincides with grind culture. If you're never truly fully satisfied, you're going to constantly continue to get to that pinnacle, try to climb to this invisible rope. It's great to, work hard if somebody gives you kudos or flowers and things like that. You have more room to grow. You have more to do. And that's fine. But someone who never feels satisfied, I don't know about that. Like, you never, like, think about it this way. You go to a restaurant, right? Let's say this is the only restaurant in life, right? Or whatever. You go to a restaurant, you order food, you don't like that. They take it back. Basically, at this point, you start ordering 5, 6 entrees. You're not satisfied with that. They darn near give you the full menu. And you're not satisfied with this. So, like, what outtake do you get? What do you gain from that? You're never satisfied. You're never fully satisfied. I think you should always want to grow, want to expand, want to learn more, want to grow more, want to obtain more. But to never feel fully satisfied. You get that wording, that phrase.
Yeah, I get it.
Like, never feeling fully satisfied.
I get that. Because it's just like, I don't know. It brings down, like, I feel like not being satisfied means, like, you got that hunger, you got drive, like, you got things pushing and motivating you to get satisfied. Now, are you moving the goalposts on your own self? Yeah. Like, will you probably, if you keep doing it, will you probably never be satisfied? Yeah, but is that terrible creatively?
But never being satisfied? I hear you. I'm with you on the growing and evolving and things like that. But we're saying never feeling satisfied. You don't ever feel like this, like, because you can grow. We're not talking about growth, right? This is you saying that this is not good enough. This is not good enough. You're constantly basically saying to yourself, this is not good enough. This is not good enough. So what point does it feel good enough to you? You're going to constantly go on this rope of this is not good enough. And you're going to look for good enough and you're not going to find it because you already value things are not already good enough for you. So, I mean,
Yeah, like, it sucks that I see both sides. But I just can't truly just not, like, the fact of just not feeling satisfied is terrible.
It's not terrible because it means that you see more for yourself.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. But sometimes people do the extremities. I'm on the advocate of extremities because when somebody says never feeling fully satisfied, that is an extremity. Right? Maybe not feeling like 50% satisfied or whatever. Like, I was okay with that project. I could do better. But if somebody, like, that is an extremity, never feeling fully satisfied. So for me, I feel like you should want to continue to push yourself. But if you don't see value into your work or you don't see the good in your work, how are you going to grow into your work? How are you going to get to the next thing? If you don't see any good in your work, what are you striving for?
But we're not saying there's no good. I'm sure there's some good in there, but this ain't. It's like, maybe this is the best you can do, right? You made this film, you put forth your best. Like, it kicked your butt. 1,000%. You feel like it's the best you can do. But as you watching, I feel like there's always something you can improve on. I feel like it comes down to, like you said, improvement.
Right.
You can always grow and improve. So the driving force of wanting you to improve is the fact that you're not satisfied with what you just did. You're not satisfied with your best. Why not?
But okay, so I hear I agree with that. But it just feels like, let's say you put out a product. Let's say you put out something, I don't know. To me, I just feel like you have to be proud of your work. And being proud of your work, you have to at least feel satisfied. Satisfied doesn't mean complacency. If, let's say if you're at a restaurant and they ask you, how was your meal? And you say, it wasn't satisfactory. And that's fine. But let's say if a meal is never satisfactory. I just comparing it to food because it's just like, that's how I feel. It's either like the best, the okay, or the worst. And I feel like when somebody says they're never fully satisfied, that's almost equivalent as like you're not seeing your best in your work. You might see little flaws in your work, right? And you're like halfway satisfied, but you're never fully satisfied. I don't know. I think it's a balance. I think you could be both. I think you could like your work and want to do more. and feel, not, 100% satisfied. Maybe you're 50% satisfied. Maybe you're like 40% satisfied. So I think that we're saying in a way kind of the same thing, or maybe different things in a way, different points. But as a whole, as an artist, you don't feel completely satisfied with like anything. Now, your individual projects, you might feel like, oh, this could have been better, this could have been better. But as a whole, do you feel proud of yourself? Like, do you feel like, and you could say, oh, I have more to do. But when I think about never fully satisfied, like, I'm not saying perfect. I'm saying satisfied. Mm-hmm. Satisfactory don't mean 100%.
No.
Satisfactory means this is good enough.
What are you striving for? Are you striving for satisfactory? Or are you striving for good enough? Or are you striving for 100%?
Well, I'm striving to be the best version of myself, to be, authentic, and to put out the best work I possibly can. And I don't want to say 100 because that means I'm on perfection, and nothing is truly ever perfection. And my work ethic, my drive, I want it to be hard. I want it to be good every time. But that, even in your best, you're going to find little flaws. Even if you're a perfectionist, you're going to find little flaws that you're going to be like, I could have did that better, but I still like it. What does that mean? If I say I like something, but I could do better?
Mm-hmm. Does that
mean never fully satisfied? Or does that mean not quite there yet, or still reaching for more?
I think I see both sides, because at one point I was about to say I think you're overvaluing the word satisfactory, but I don't think you are. I think satisfied is good enough. Mm-hmm. But I feel like good enough has a positive connotation to some people and has a negative connotation to some people.
So I actually do feel I share your sentiments about you should never want to feel satisfied. I'm just giving the other side, because maybe there's people out there who feel that way. And I'm trying to think of ways in which, somebody don't want to feel like they're never fully satisfied. But, I guess you can balance it. I guess it can be a thing of wanting to do more with yourself, wanting to be pleased with yourself, but also wanting to shoot for the stars and shoot for this. And I feel like as long as you're in your creative space, you should want to. Yeah. If you're not, then maybe go back and draft it more. Maybe come back to the drawing board. What we're ultimately saying at that point is, if you, do or don't do, if you do or you don't, it can tend to end you, and it can tend to lead you in this never-ending battle of perfection and striving to perfection and wanting to get to that. And let's just break down perfection. Yeah. And is that good? Do you support that? Do you feel that? Are you for that?
It's really tough for me because in the past I used to label myself as a perfectionist, right? So I feel like, yes, perfection is unattainable. Yeah. There's no way there's no such thing as a perfect project, a perfect song, a perfect edit, nothing. You can't get there. But my feeling is, what is so bad about striving for perfection? Because on your way up to perfection, you gonna make some dope stuff, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, it's gonna be so fire. You ain't gonna be perfect, but that target that you can never hit, still gonna get hundreds. You ain't gonna ever get that, but because you it's just that's driving you. I feel like, what's so wrong with
that?
We're
gonna have some disagreements.
No, I feel like what's so wrong?
And it's okay. Healthy disagreements are okay as long as you're communicating the disagreements, right? I feel the opposite. I'm also an ex-perfectionist. Mm-hmm. It's just not healthy, because you're saying, what is the worst that can come from that? You're reaching hundreds and hundreds. The worst that can come from that is that you're not seeing anything different. You're seeing gold when it's okay to see gray. You're trying to go up, and while you're going up, you're not having any downs. I believe the best stories come from pitfalls and trials and errors, and there has to be the failures in order to be the success. You hear success stories, and not one success story do you hear a failure. Do you hear a pitfall? Do you hear someone saying they doubted themselves, or they whatever? You hear about the failures. No one once ever said, Perfection, 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 perfection. Like, that is unobtainable. And even that thinking is unobtainable. Like, that thinking is dangerous. Because while you're busy reaching for the top, the truth of the matter is there's no top. There's no top. Yes, for yourself. You might set an individual goal for yourself. But then, okay, you should anyway set goals for yourself, period. Yeah. Personally, in your work and your family, you should just set goals for yourself. Short-term goals, long-term goals, drive. You should have that. But I don't think to continue to say, well, what is the worst to come out of perfection? The worst to come out of perfection is you not growing. You're basically robotic at that point. You're basically not really feeling the feelings. I feel like you're more so the action, I'm more so the feeling of it. The feeling of perfection don't feel good. The feeling of perfection is depressing. The feeling of perfection is just unsatisfactory. You want to be unsatisfied your whole entire life in order to reach perfection?
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the case, then by all means. But I feel like that is not a realistic way to live life. To reach for perfection. Reach for your best. Reach for the best. And it could be the best. I like the best. I don't like perfect. I like the best. Because you got the best and you got the worst.
I feel like I get what you're saying, right? The feeling of trying constantly to reach something that it cannot be reached, it's draining. 1,000%. It's very draining. It's very, tiring. It has to be like taxing on your mental. But like, I just can't. I just don't understand like what's the quote that said like reach for the stars. If you fail, you'll land on the moon.
Right. Yeah.
Like the stars is the perfect. You're not gonna reach it, but at the end of the day, you tried, you strived, and like. You did your best. And your best is like you said, we got to the best. But you're aiming for perfect. I feel like aiming for perfect ain't the end of the world.
See, now you're crossing different perspectives. You just said it's okay if you fall. But previously you said the goal is to go, you reach 100, 100, 100. Maybe I'm reaching 70, maybe I'm reaching 80, maybe I reach 100. But you're
still aiming at 100.
Okay, right? I'm with that.
Yeah.
Right? But perfection at the end of it, at the end of perfection, it just I don't think we should, at least me, I don't think I want to put that out there for people. And that's already been out there. That's been out there for decades. To look perfect, to be perfect, to act perfect, to dress perfect. Like, that's so boring. Get some color in your life. Learn how to fail and then get back up. I'm not saying you shouldn't strive for the moon and the stars. I don't call that perfect. I call that just kind of continuing to evolve and to grow at your very best. I don't want to I don't want to tell myself, my future self, okay, be perfect. Like, it's no heart in that. There's no personality in it. It's no color. You should reach for the best. And to me, the best is the moon and the stars.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect, that's above the moon and the stars to me. Perfect, you can't see it. You can see the moon and the stars. You can't see perfection. Perfection is perfection is invisible. It's like this invisible rope. Just me, I can see the moon and the stars, and I look at the moon and the stars, and they're beautiful and they're great and they're the best thing in God's world that He created. I don't see anything above that.
Okay, let's change the scenario.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I'm gonna put it in a different light because you said you see the moon and stars. Like, let's aim for that. Like, that's perfect. That's great. Like, not perfect, but like that's the best, right? We don't want to say that it's perfect. But like, let's use this in comparison to your peers or people that is doing the same things you do or doing things you want to do. Let's say, I don't know, happenstance. The moon and the stars in our world, Issa Rae, Ryan Coogler, like moon and stars. We can see them. Mm-hmm. What is so wrong with trying to be better than that? You see where they at, and being where they at will be fine. Be perfect. Be not perfect. Be the best. Like, that'd be cool. Mm-hmm. But like, my mindset is like overachieving that somehow, some way. I don't know what it look like. I don't see it. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it look like. But like,
it's not. I don't think the idea is bad. The idea is not bad. I think it just comes down to how culturally we view perfection. I guess that's more my point. It's nothing wrong with what you're saying, because you should reach for the moon and the stars and reach for, beyond it and reach for, you never know, reaching to over, that's what you should do. You should want to, not just be that person or want to be inspired by that person, but you should want to do more than that person.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. I think it's just more so the mindset that we've already obtained, unfortunately, in society of around perfection, and the looking of perfection, and how we dress and how we all these things, and down to the everything that you see culturally. I have a problem with cultural perfection versus
personal perfection.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I think that is I guess what I'm more so talking about, because you can go above and beyond by all means, but with that it does carry a lot of taxing things and draining things and never ending sleep, and then that's when we get into, you might be grinding. We talk about grinding culture, and so then how do you find that balance, right? You want to go above and beyond, and then you might spill over to grind culture. You want to go so above and beyond Issa Rae and Ryan Coogler that you're like this.
Yeah, you just
And
it is a slippery slope, right?
It's very slippery.
I feel like the pros outweighs the cons, but like I said in the beginning, we both on two separate sides of the perfectionist spectrum, to where like it's been a flaw of mine. Like I'm just always trying to like.
And it's funny because we're both we both were perfectionists. It's still in me a little bit, but I think life kind of hits you and it kind of wakes you up a little bit. And
it's not attainable,
right?
So it's like, why would I just like.
Right, like
focus
we're not
on
Barbie dolls.
Yeah.
Barbies are perfect. They have these perfect, ideally. But we're not perfect. We're human. So that makes sometimes our art flawed, or our art, wrong or not right, or perspectives different. But yeah, I think the idea around perfection can be a little dangerous. But by all means, reach for the stars, reach for the moons, because that's what I do. That's what you do. That's what we do as an entity. And do that, but just kind of balance it a bit.
So how do you think we should, because being former perfectionists like ourselves, how should we combat the feeling of chasing perfection? I guess besides the fact that, all right, we know it's unattainable, but like what's some steps I can take to like, stop me from chasing perfection?
Not comparing yourself to others. Not comparing yourself to others. Comparing yourself to your past versions of who you were, or comparing your work to your older work. Looking at your blueprint opposed to someone else's blueprint. I think that's the number one thing that can kind of help us. We want to obtain that, like you said, we want to be on our way to perfection, but we don't want to hurt ourselves or hurt our minds or put ourselves in this like forever tornado of never reaching the pinnacle. So to stop that, just stop comparing yourself to people, and stop comparing your work, and stop comparing their systems and their steps to yours, because everybody's journey is different. Yeah, we love the Ryan Cooglers and the Issa Raes and all the people and musicians and whomever's, but that path for them was very different. So I can't look at their prototype and think it's my prototype. I can't look at Ramir's prototype and think it's my prototype. I have to learn how to find my lane and reflect on that. So compare yourself to yourself.
I agree.
I think.
Another thing I want to add to that is like finding out what does perfection look like for you.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely what you just said, but just like what I'm saying, making what's perfect to you, not what's perfect to them.
Yes.
Because art 1000% is subjective.
Subjective, yeah.
1000%. Like you could feel like I just did a complete film, complete movie, rising action, conflict, resolution, you know what I'm saying? I did the whole kit and caboodle. I got it all. And I just feel like I just laid it all out there. Perfect. Right? Not like literally.
I'm so
no,
sorry.
get serious.
I'm so sorry.
Perfect. Like
No, you can't. I'm sorry.
No. This is a natural reaction. But like perfect.
Yeah.
But you let it out. All it takes is one film critic, and then you're just like, well, the rising conflict kind of was a little weak, and your character development, none of your characters developed. They all stayed stagnant. They all stayed the same. Nobody changed. What was the overarching theme? I didn't pick that up. I didn't see this. There will always be an opinion about your art, about your work. So when it comes to art, there's no such thing as perfect, because what is perfect, right?
Oh, I love that.
There's no such thing as perfect.
Yeah.
Especially in art.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you are a perfectionist, a recovering perfectionist like myself, or relapsing perfectionist maybe like myself, maybe, but like, you know what I'm saying? There is no such thing as perfect. You just have to feel like what you did was perfect or the best that you could do. You know, don't work yourself to the bone about it. There's no like, because somebody always going to be like, this wasn't the best, man. Like your third verse in this song, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah. Can I add to that?
Yeah.
I think it's also something really beautiful and poignant when someone, you don't, you're reaching for perfection, but you're not being perfect. It's something about that real, that rawness, that vulnerability that you can't obtain by trying to be perfect. Yeah, you want to shoot for the best or perfection, but you don't want to emulate perfection because you have no personality. Like you want your art to have character. You want your stories to have character. You want your music to have character. You want everything to be colorful. So don't try to focus on trying to be perfect. Don't try to focus on trying to be perfect. Try to focus on being as raw, being as unfiltered, being as real in your art. That makes it so beautiful when you are authentic in your art and not trying to be so perfect and robotic and stiff. Like we don't need stiff. We already have a bunch of things for that. We need you. We need authenticity. We need raw. We need real. And there's nothing wrong with that. So don't get stuck up on what we're saying about perfection. Don't be perfection. If you want to strive for it, do your best to strive and reach that pinnacle.
But just know you ain't gonna reach it.
Yeah, I mean,
just feel satisfied, like you said.
Try to feel as satisfied as you can, and if you don't, keep going, and you know,
that for sure.
Yeah, keep trying to impress yourself. I think also
okay,
that's
I like that.
I was gonna save
really
that.
like that.
Yeah, I was gonna try to save that for my final five, but it was on my heart to say it. Try to impress yourself. We spend so much time trying to impress others, but impress you. Impress, if this is your best and you feel like you're good.
Yo, I did the thing.
That's also what I'm saying too. Yeah. Also, I think with the conversation earlier, I was trying to make that point of take a step back and say, this was good. I'm proud of myself. In a way, even if you see some flaws, you go, I can do better, but I like this. I'm gonna do better. I like it. I appreciate what I did because so many people are gonna have so many negative critiques anyway. So impress yourself.
Yeah, take a moment and look at your art or whatever you put forth, and you just sit in it and be like, nah. Like before you send her critiques,
right?
Critiques like, all right, I gotta move this back half a bar and like whatever.
Yeah.
Just look back and like, yo, like this really came out of me.
Yeah.
This is like I really did the thing. I think I can definitely take that and do that more often.
Yeah, I think you should.
I'm really just like so much looking into. Like, all right, what could be better? Because I think I'm a person that's hard to please.
You're a Virgo. That's just what it is.
Yeah, but like I'm a person that's hard to please, so it's like, it's hard to impress myself. So when you said that, I'm like, I can really just give myself a lot more credit than I really do.
Yeah, the world is already a tough place, babes. Yeah. The world is gonna give you so much crap and hate. Why not give yourself some love?
For sure.
Why not give your art some love? Your art is gonna art is already subjective, so why not kind of make it objective for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Make it something that is spot on for yourself, even if you see the flaws. It's okay.
That's true. I like this though. I feel like this was like a breakthrough.
Yeah, I really wasn't sure. I'm gonna be honest with this topic. There's so many ways to like say like don't do this or do this or we did this, and I really wasn't sure, but it ended up working out really well.
Yeah.
The topic.
We aim for perfection, but like we got like exactly.
So now we are going to start to wind down. We're gonna do our final five. And for anyone who is not familiar, our final five is just leaving you guys with 5 words, 5 phrases, or 5, a sentence that, sums up whether this podcast or something that we want you to take away with. So, you want to start?
Yeah, I can start. My final 5 in this episode is perfect is perfect for you. So, like, whatever you define perfect is, that's what it is. It was perfect, you know what I'm saying? Staying with the metronome when you're singing or like when you're recording. Did you perfect that? That's fine. Because what perfect is so unattainable, you have to make it a goal that's attainable. Like you gotta move the goalposts a little bit for you, but like not like in a sense where it's like always changing goals or just giving yourself a silver medal. No, make that medal number one. Make that gold medal. Not just like a pity prize or just like a participation trophy. Whatever you define as perfect, let that be perfect for you. Forget what everybody else got to say because they're going to always have an opinion, and perfect is super unattainable. Everyone's good enough is different. So, like, impress yourself, like what you said. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yep. So my final five is perfect is you and art. And I want to say more. Perfect is you and your art. But,
yeah,
it's okay. So I think
six.
It's okay. It's all right. But I think that just means, take things for what they are. Again, what I said, impress yourself. Already know, like, you're the best before you try to reach for the best. You can't reach for the best if you don't think that you're the best. If you don't think that you're qualified for the job, then you can't do the job. You can't perform the job. So always know who you are, know what your art is. That's just all what that says. Perfect is you in art. So yes, you're reaching for that, but know that you already have it. You can't reach for something that you don't think that you already have a little bit. You already have it. You just want more of it. You just want the pinnacle or the invisible pinnacle. So don't forget to look at your art and look at yourself and know that, oh, I can do this because I am this, because I'm great at what I do. I'm not just qualified for it. I'm overqualified for it. You want to make sure you know your value and your art's value. So that's my final five.
I like that.
Thank you.
I like how everything just always relates. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
The final five. Sometimes I feel like the first half of this episode related. He's talking about highs and lows to my sinners, and he was talking about just very like
you're right
pro-black things
you're
and
right.
whatever. And then the second half related, the topic and the final five,
you're
just
right.
all like.
It's all succinct.
Like, that's kind of crazy. I like that. I really do like
that.
that. I've noticed that for a little bit.
Yeah.
I've noticed that.
I like that. We're trying to reach perfection.
Yeah, but we ain't getting it.
It's okay. So if you like this topic as much as we like to discuss about it, or just if you like this topic as much as we did, make sure you hit our comments up. Keep the conversation going. Keep it flowing. Let us know whether you agree, you disagree.
Yeah.
Let us know some of the ways that you try to dismantle perfection or not. Make sure you're liking this video. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you tell a friend and tell a friend and tell their friends, family, cousins, sisters, brothers, everybody. And once again, for Creatives by Creatives, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Bye.